Good morning, and welcome to this episode of the Cardinal News Network. Good morning, Cardinals. This is Mrs. Martinez. I hope everyone has had a great first week on distance learning. I just wanted to tell all of you that I am extremely proud of the work and the dedication that you have put in to your assignments through Google Classroom over this past week. Keep up the great work. Today we're going to talk a little bit about our school theme, which, if you remember from last week, is You Matter, Every Child, Every day. And we're going to talk a little bit about what makes our students matter and how each and every one of you matter to our teachers, to your families, and to myself. Last week, I introduced you to the artist Christian Robinson, who is actually from LA, and he wrote a story called You Matter. We have him here with us today, and he is going to read this story for you.
Hello, my name is Christian Robinson. I am an author and illustrator of books for children. Welcome to PBS Kids Read Along. Right now I am sitting in my making space, my art studio, which is actually the garage right behind my house. This is where I create pictures and make up stories like the one I want to share with you today, You Matter. I wrote and illustrated this book because not everyone is told that they matter. Not everyone is made to feel that their life matters. I wanted to show them, and anyone who picks up this book, that it does. Shall I read it to you? All right, let's begin. Well, first, let's notice the cover. We see some kids playing with a parachute on the jacket. Have you ever done that before? It's a lot of fun. And here on the end pages, we see a city from above, and we see some kids playing with a parachute. And then on the next page, we kind of zoom out a lot, and now we see the earth and the stars, and now the story begins. The small stuff, too small to see. Have you ever looked through a microscope before and seen little teeny tiny things moving around? Those who swim with the tide and those who don't. Can you see who's not swimming with the tide? The first to go and the last, you matter. When everyone thinks you're a pest, has anyone ever thought you were a pest before? Thought you were being annoying? I bet that's how mosquitoes feel all the time, always buzzing in people's ears and biting them. When something is just out of reach, can you tell it's out of reach? I think that mosquito just bit that T-Rex on the tail. And that T-Rex has tiny little T-Rex arms and he probably can't even scratch that itch. Oh dear. When everyone is too busy to help, you matter. I wonder why everyone's so busy. Where are they going? What are they running from? If you fall down, have you ever fallen down before and had to get back up? If you have to start all over again, I wonder if that's how the earth feels sometimes. Even if you're really gassy, you matter. You know, the sun is really gassy. It's like a big, gassy, hot ball burning millions of miles away. Sometimes home is far away. And now we see this astronaut, and she's looking down at the earth, her home. And there's something in her hand. Maybe a picture of someone. Sometimes someone you love says goodbye. Has someone you loved ever said goodbye before? It can be hard. I wonder who the book is talking about. Maybe the boy with the rocket ship, or the girl with the phone, maybe the two cats. Sometimes you feel lost and alone. Have you ever felt that way in a big, busy city, kind of lost? Well, if you look closely, we see a little dog with their collar and they're lost. Maybe their owners are these kids on the other side of the street. Old and young, and now we see those kids are back with their dog again. They're kind of walking through a park. There's some old guys feeding the birds. And there's something about this page that you might not realize, but did you know that trees, which are one of my favorite living organisms, they can live a very long time? I think the biggest tree in the world, General Sherman, is believed to be over 2,000 years old. So in this picture, who do you think I'm talking about? Who do you think is old and who do you think is young? The first to go and the last. The small stuff, too small to see. You matter. And then on the end pages, which is at the end, we end up back in that city that we saw from above. And that is the story of You Matter. When I sat down to write You Matter, I asked myself a question. What is it that I most want to say to readers? The answer was, you matter. I wanted to not only say it, but show it. I wanted to make sure that all kinds of kids could see themselves on the page, that they could know that they're valuable, that I see them. I also wanted to show life through different perspectives and experiences, and most importantly, to show that we're all connected in some way. It's important for kids and adults too to know that they matter. And it's not for the reasons that you might necessarily think. You don't matter just because of how big or important you are, how good your grades are, how many trophies you've won. You matter because you exist. You matter because you're here. It's easy for any of us to forget that, especially when we're so small and the universe is so very big. But I wanted to show that no matter how small you are, no matter how close or far away you are from the people that you care about and love, you matter. It's important for kids to hear that message because kids are the future. And I think if we all received that message when we were young and believed it, I think the world would be a different place, a better place. What inspires me to make illustrations and the pictures like the ones we saw in the book is nature and science and history. I am so fascinated by the world that we live in. I find it so inspiring, from the teeny tiniest little things that you can only see under a microscope to the great big things like dinosaurs, to the mysteries of outer space. Most importantly though, I just love to have fun with what I'm creating. If you like to draw, maybe you're like me and sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you don't always draw everything perfectly. That's okay. I make tons of mistakes, but what helps is practice. I practice all the time and it helps me get better. Speaking of drawing, would you like to draw something together? Yeah? So I'm gonna use this chalkboard right here, but you can use whatever materials you have. If you have paper, crayons, markers. So to draw our T-Rex, we're gonna begin with the eyes. So I'm gonna do 2 little dots for the eyes. Not too bad, right? And then I'm gonna draw a lump and a mouth shape. And then I'm gonna leave space for the teeth. So kind of like a triangle. And then I'm gonna draw a bunch of little sharp teeth, which is pretty much a bunch of triangles, and some on the bottom. And now I'm gonna give my T-Rex a back. Whoop. And let's work on those little tiny T-Rex hands. So teeny tiny. And let's give it some big stompy feet. And another foot. And let's finish that tail. And we have a T-Rex. Thank you so much for joining me today on PBS Kids Read Along. Happy readings. And if you haven't heard it from anyone else today, you matter to me. And in the words of one of my heroes, Mr. Rogers, I like you just the way you are. Thank you. Bye.
This is such a wonderful story, and I love it because it has this great positive message for all of you, whether you're in kindergarten, 3rd grade, or 5th grade. You need to know that near or far, big or small, first or last, you matter. Over the next week, I want you to think about somebody in your life that makes a difference, somebody that matters to you. It could be a classmate, a friend from another school, someone in your family, even your own teacher. And I want you to think about why they matter to you. Because when we come back together next week, you're going to have a little activity to complete in which you are going to send what is called a mattergram. We are going to make that movement to send mattergrams throughout our school, and we want to let people know who matters to us in our lives. So be thinking of one person that matters to you and why they make that difference. I want to leave you today with some very important words to remember. You are enough. You have influence. You are a genius. You have contributions to make. You have a gift that others need. Your actions define your impact. You are the change. You matter. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will see everyone Monday morning.